This is April the 3rd, I think. Yeah. So, you know, I still get tons of questions about catfishing. Today I'm going to show you where I grew up as a catfisherman, basically. I'm up in a little creek called the Elkhorn Creek. We've been getting a lot of rain. And this creek has been on the rise. For about the last day or two, it's come up about a foot. It's muddy, not bad, but it's muddy. I'll show you here in a little bit. So I'm going to show you the basics. Obviously, GNS cheese bait, great bait this time of year. Water temperature in this creek is about 51 degrees. It's about a half a degree warmer in the creek than it is the main channel of the rock, which is just over 50. So anyway, I'm going to use some shad gut, I'm going to use some GNS cheese bait, some fish bites maybe. I just wanted to show you what I use for a basic rig. First, I got my leader line here. I got my little Boss Cat. These are hammers right here, man. These things, they're J's. Now you can snell these little J's up. I know a lot of people reserve snelling for circle hooks, but you can snell your J's. Or you can tie your preferred knot, which for me, if I'm gonna knot them, I'm gonna just run a basic clinch knot. Clinch, cinch, improved clinch, improved cinch, Berkeley, trilene, carries all kinds of names, and there's a million different variations. But there you have it. So we're going, like I said, very simple. We're going to Carolina rig these. So we're going to go 1 ounce, no roll. 1 ounce, 1 ounce, no roll. Little knot protector, which I don't always use, but Boss Cat makes them. DNS Fishing Solution makes them. You can find them. Then I Berkeley or clinch, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call it. Or you can be interesting and you can call it something different every time you tie it. Doesn't matter. Now I'm expecting the fish to be really aggressive today. Because sometimes for whatever reason, you're wrong. It happens all the time. Great thing about fishing is you can wait until you're right, or you can move until you're right. So there's basic early channel cat rig. I am fishing for eating size fish today. I probably will end up in here catching some 6 or 8 pound, 10 pound fish. I'll let go. These are the brand new trash can custom rods, and these things are beautiful. Almost too beautiful for catfishing. However, I'm a catfisherman, that's what I do. I've got some smaller ones that I'm going to use to catch skipjack, moon eye, bluegill, stuff like that. Obviously that's not what I'm doing today, so I brought some shad gut and I'm gonna throw some GNS cheese bait, like I said, but I'm just some refroze shad gut here first that I had left in a bag, so it's a little bit runny. But if you hook the gizzard, wrap it, hook it again, you're still good. Nice little current seam out here. It's only 3 to 5 feet deep. I'm not even going to put them in the rod holders. Like I said, Great thing about this time of year, you know, you can just, and being in a boat like I am, is you can be mobile. You know, if I throw out 2 poles of GNS cheese bait, or one with GNS and one with shad gut or fresh creek chub or fresh whatever, and I ain't getting bit in 10 minutes, yeah, I can sit there and eventually I know the scent's good. Now look at, I just threw that out and we're getting hit already. So I think the question of whether or not there's some fish here or not has been answered already. Boy, he smacked that. I doubt he ripped it off there, but boy did he. Oh, there he is. Oh, and I missed him. Sometimes I swear these fish can see right when you're fixing to set hook on them. See, this is the kind of shad gut right here that come out of a monster shad. You know, that you don't need all that. You can take your scissors and make several baits out of that. And you'll see I took the old gizzard off there and threw it in. I probably could have just thrown that gizzard back out and that would have been good enough. Hell, I never even rigged up the second pole yet. Kind of wanted to get a feel for these new rods, and man, they are, it's almost like there's nothing in your hand. They're so light, so nice, but they're rated 10 to 20, so you know, you could go light on them, and you know, but that's a perfect weighted rod for channel cat. What I really like about them is that they have a nice soft tip to them, yet they're sensitive. You can feel everything. Now, oh, there he goes. Oh! I hooked him and ripped it right, ripped it right out of his mouth. I tell you what, I better get this other pole rigged. Thank you. Better get this other pole rigged before so I can concentrate. Because apparently today's going to be one of them days when I'm right. And again, it's that doesn't always happen. But it looks like maybe today. Of course, you don't know. Maybe I'll catch 1 or 2 fish here and that'll be it. But I got a feeling with this on the rise, the river on the rise, the temperature being right, we've got a front moving in this evening. We're supposed to get some more storms. Kind of got a feeling. Now you're probably saying, why ain't you just throwing cheese bait? That'll be good enough. And it would be. The GNS, I'd be throwing it out there just like these shad gut, just as fast as I can use it. But some days are like, this is when you learn. When you know that the fish are there and they're biting, you know, this is a perfect time to throw out different baits and see what works, you know. You can't always get a good handle on a new bait when the fish aren't biting well, because you know sometimes they're biting 1 or 2 specific things. But if they're really biting good, this is the fish bite chicken liver flavor. I'm gonna throw that out there. I gotta reel this other one in, and why I hooked him felt solid, and then I felt it rip right out of his, I must have just whisker hooked him or something. So now's a great time. I know I can catch all the fish I want for dinner on one pole, so it's a great time to go ahead and throw another pole out there with some different bait on it. This is when you learn, you know, you learn some new stuff. Try out some new baits. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So now we're going to take the intestines of the shad gut. We're just going to wrap it. That's how you ever want to use chicken livers, and everybody says you need ladies' stockings and stuff and all that shit to put chicken livers on a hook. Only time you should use women's stockings is when you're taking them off a woman. Alrighty then. Now, how we all doing? Yeah, we're just going to fish this afternoon for a while. I said if it was just strictly about catching fish, because I needed to get a bite already. It's hung up in something there. We're catfishing, pal. Pulled that out of some crap. I hope it didn't rip my bait off, but I don't think so. We'll see. No, I don't think it did. There we go. Perfect. Now guys, catfishing ain't much different than deer hunting, right? You know, you've got your detractors, your naysayers, and all this shit. That is a perfect eating channel cat. I don't know exactly how long it is. Let me see. It's 15 inches. Yeah, there's a lot bigger, you know. These are the best eating channel cats to catch right here. 15 to 18 inches in my book, you know, which I figure is about 1 to 3 pounds, something like that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite to eat. Everybody's got their opinion on what the cutoff is. You know, some guys say, well, I don't like to keep them. You know, some guys will eat channel cats all the way up 10, 12 pounds. They don't care. I do. But to each his own. If it's legal, eat what you want to eat. throw back what you want to throw back. This is easy peasy this time of year. Once you learn a little bit about catfishing, don't take much, very simple. You don't have to have a custom rod. I know I'm using these trash can customs, you know, basic equipment, basic baits, basic rigs, and you can have a ton of fun. I'm a little overdressed. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're very aggressive so far. You know, we've only been here a couple minutes, but you could definitely be running, you could definitely run Boss Cat circle hooks today. You could definitely be running, you could definitely run Boss Cat circle hooks today. You know, they're gonna be more aggressive. You know, they're gonna definitely hook themselves. A bunch of people watching today, huh? Yeah, you sit here on these creek banks like this and you start to think of all the different ways you could catch fish here. You know, I got my offshore tackle shirt on. I'm sitting up here, basically there's no current here. I'm sitting up against the bank. You got the heavy current running down the outside bank here, and it could very easily put about a 3-foot dropper on and put a small offshore tackle planer board on and run it over there into that current, let it sit, and catch these fish that way. I just took that chicken liver. That great big frickin' shad got on here. This fish has been trying to eat. I should have cut it and I didn't. I should have cut it and I didn't. Of course, he doesn't seem to be a quitter. A lot of people think that sometimes, you know, you get the peck pecks and the constant drags at the small fish, and that's just not always true. Or 50 to typical weather, kind of all over the place. Oh yeah, he pulled me right into a. Yeah. So, bust that off. Let us bust that off. Let us very simple. Also, something I'll tell you, I'm heavy. Also, something I'll tell you, I'm heavy. Well, we've busted off once. Hi, Flathead, what's up? Ruh-roh. He dragging. Oh, oh. Ruh-roh. He dragging. Oh, oh. You know, because you end up holding one hand to get, you're staring at another eye, and you can feel what's going on. Yeah, I was busy with that one, and I turned around, and this one was doubled over. Maybe I'll turn the camera around so you can see what's going on. Oh, he's back. Oh, good Lord, he smashed that. That there. Oh, no. Oh, good Lord, he smashed that. That there. Oh, no. Know how to miss fish, you know, so again, I probably don't need to be showing you how to do that. It's like watching a tennis match. The bites are coming so fast and you just, oh jeez. That ain't a circle hook, but he hooked himself. I really like the feel of the you're not always, like I said, you're not always right. But I've been watching the gauge here, and this little creek at this time of the year, again, you can be doing really well out on the main river too. There's great places to fish the main river in these kind of situations as well. But I spent my whole childhood during the summer vacations and spring breaks and all that stuff camping on this river, and I did it religiously. And there's not nothing more fun than fish. I mean, this creek, you know, in a lot of places is at normal pool is only, you know, 20-25 feet across. But the catfish love it. It's always been a great catfishing creek. Corps of Engineers kind of ruined it, or really set it back. They thought they needed to put wing dams in a 20-foot wide river, but creek, I should say. Okie dokie. Maybe I'll throw a little Boss Cat circle hook on here. I'll stick with J's for now. That fish had this buried way down in his throat, so I didn't bother digging it out. I just cut it off far into his mouth as I could get it. Then I can just take and I can tie another clinch knot and be right back in the ball game, just like that. You don't really have to worry about trimming line. Catfish don't care. That used to be one of the most common question I'd get. It was tag line, you know, one of the most common question I'd get. It was tag line, you know. Do I need to trim line off or catfish shy? Catfish are absolutely not line shy. Tag line, you know. Do I need to trim line off or catfish shy? Catfish are absolutely not line shy. But if you're a picky fisherman, way too much into what are so-called social bait, especially a blood bait. You know, catching a turtle is not out of the realm of possibility. Just again, you're crack floating them. You know, you could have a little fish like I just did when you're fishing brushy cover and that kind of crap. You know, you can keep bait in the water while you're rigging up a pole that you might break off. That's not leafy cover. Would catch it. Oh, that one. Oh, that's a nice one. Man, this trash can around. These things are nice. Trash can around. 4 or 5 already. I mean, you can really, yeah, you can really lay it on them. There's no question about it, and a lot of guys do. And again, that's their option. I have a lot of friends that are like that. You know, they have a lot of fish fries during the year, and that's, you know, that's what. I have a lot of friends that are like that. You know, they have a lot of fish fries during the year, and that's, you know, that's what is. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of them days where if a guy, you know, got out here and the sun came up and stayed until the sun went down, he could just have these things, you know. I almost didn't go. But they were ready to do fairly well and be home out of the water. Of significance, fish, everything, everything, but it was worth it. But it was worth it. I didn't have sit here. We're on and set it about 1.5 2 foot deep, and just throw it here and just let it kind of float around, catching fish on a bobber. I don't care how old you get, catch a foot deep and just throw it here and just let it kind of float around, catching fish on a bobber. I don't care how old you get, catching fish on a bobber is just doesn't ever seem to get old, especially catfish, because you know that's people don't do that as much. To me, it's more about enjoying how I'm fishing and what I'm fishing than it is, well, I need to start doing this, you know, like to win a tournament or something. Maybe you need to be bumping, you know, covering more water. You know, I just really enjoy sitting on when you're fishing an area like this that you know fish are kind of moving up through. And when you're fishing an area like this that you know fish are kind of moving up through, because I don't know the amount of fish I've caught in this creek in my life. Obviously, a big percentage of them was, you know, from the time I was 6 to the time I was 30, 25 maybe. But never gets old. I do it a couple times a trip. Go to lift them up out of the water and you've just got them hooked by a whisker. Right now, most of the aggressive fish are coming right off this little current seam right out here in front of me, but I'm sure they're swimming all around in through here. Swimming all around in through here. Catching a few fish now. Okay. These boss cat, boy, they really like to turn and catch that bottom lip. That's a beautiful fish, man. And this one, a little bit better. But hey, We're catching fish. Alrighty then. Fish. Alrighty then. Sons of bitches. We're gonna have kind of fun right yonder. Alright then. Come here, you. Alright then. Come here, you. Liver or not liver. Zero. I don't know how this all works. So, anywho, well, we got another fish going here. Not fresh baits up, but every once in a while I'll give a bit like this. Sometimes I will go through in a bait. Again, these trash cans I'm using are a 7/6 moderate fast 5/8 ounce 10 to 20 pound line. They got the cork handle. Man, are these things just sweet. They are sweet. Sweet. They are sweet. They feel righteous. Doo-doo. Sun. Yeah, like I said, if I get a big lull here, 10-15 minutes, then like I said, if I get a big lull here, 10-15 minutes, then pretty sure I'm covered up with crap. Already into the flatheads, and I said typically that right now we're at 50-degree water temperature. Probably, you know, in another couple weeks, my flathead fishing kind of coincides with morel mushrooms. Ground temperature and the water temperature for morels tends to get right, not at the exact same. We can find out there, maybe. Good fresh need bad boys all crap off. We'll see what happens now. Crap off. We'll see what happens now. Well, looks like we're about to get off here, so thank you all for watching. I'll be live again sometime soon.